just a few of the elements that go into making a great video game. But in order to meet the many challenges and endure the pressures that come with delivering a game based in the Middle-earth universe, it takes something more. It takes teamwork. Welcome to Monolith Productions. From the studio behind powerhouses like Fear and Condemned, Monolith is working on a game they hope will change the way AAA action games are played.
There's been so many different things that Monolith has done, but I think the key's always been it's attracted talent that wanted to do something new and innovative and interesting.
Over the next several months, we'll go behind the scenes and follow the talented individuals at Monolith. Programmers, level artists, game designers, storytellers, as they complete their latest project set in the world of Middle-earth.
We want to do a fantastic Middle-earth game. We want to do a fantastic third-person action-adventure game, and we want to do a truly next-gen video game that, you know, takes advantage of those possibilities.
There's a really fun and interesting challenge to doing an established IP and staying within lore, but also doing something creative with the lore.
We've been paying special attention to detail and staying true where we can, and also spicing it up where we're allowed.
Creating a AAA game for the next generation of consoles means the team must also deliver a level of quality and detail that is second to none.
I think our biggest challenge has been making sure that it truly is immersive, it truly is varied, and it feels realistic.
Players just want more. They expect the animations to be top-notch, fluidly integrating into their combat.
Now we are working really hard at making sure that we are at the resolution that we want to be, and that we are at the frame rate we want to be, and that the design department isn't having to make any compromises on their vision. We
wanted our characters to be amazing looking, super high fidelity, lots of variety, lots of personality.
We have a really great innovation with our Nemesis system. You get a chance to go in there and mess around with orcs in a society and have them doing things and experiencing things with the players that nobody's ever seen before.
We can create new types of gameplay experiences, new types of emergent stories.
You never see the same guy twice, you never hear the same line of dialogue twice, and so everybody can really start to come alive and become a unique character.
Every time we play through it, it's a different game, and we're hooting and hollering.
You know, we really are seeing things that not only I haven't seen before, or one person hasn't seen before, but that nobody from any discipline has actually seen happen before.
In the end, it's an opportunity to create something that's innovative and truly inspiring.
I want this to be a game that people point back at and say that was a turning point, not just for Monolith, but for the industry.
To me, it's every developer's dream. You get to start your franchise. You get to really strike out there with something new.
I hope that when people play it, they really appreciate how unique their own experience is going to be.
I couldn't imagine working on a more fun game with a more just positive, fun, intelligent group of people.
Working on this game is special just because of the people that I work with.
You know, we've got a super active board gaming group and this crazy active Magic the Gathering group and this soccer group.
It's about working with the team, collaborating with the team, and bonding with that team, and figuring out how to make something great.
In the next episode, the deadline for the project's upcoming milestone approaches, and the team identifies strategies to overcome key challenges. Crafting a AAA video game is not an easy task. As code is added, levels altered, systems tweaked, the team must perfect all elements of the game as they approach the next milestone.
We're looking at some strange performance problems in lighting.
It takes a lot of work and some creative problem solving.
We need some investigation here to get a picture.
But for the men and women at Monolith, it's just another day at the office. With only a few days until their deadline, the team is determined to finish on time.
It's all about closing it down. It's all about the bugs. It's all about the performance.
All of the mechanical parts are in place, but we need to tune that they are all fitting perfectly, or else the user experience will just start to break down.
Every discipline has had to overcome their own unique set of challenges. For the design team, it's about continuously creating a richer and more varied game experience.
The biggest challenge is just the massive complexity of the game. You've just got this incredibly dense web of relationships between all of these abilities the orcs have, all of the level design, all of the world, all of the simulation that's going on.
It requires a lot of optimization between all the disciplines to take full advantage of the next-gen hardware. Ensuring the graphics are beautiful and the game runs smoothly.
As our designers and our artists push the boundaries as much as they can with high-level visual fidelity, with high-level gameplay and more AI count and, you know, more objects in the world, it's going to constantly stress our performance and memory.
There, yeah, it's in the same place.
It's trying to spawn an AI.
And it's not finding a good nav mesh position. As we're trying to finalize, pretty much the biggest issue we keep running into is performance, memory.
The programming department is arguably under the most pressure as the deadline approaches. But by working with Monolith's proprietary game engine, they can be counted on to come up with a solution.
What we think is going on is that we're adding too many obstacles to the world at the same time. And so we're making systems so we queue them up so we only add so many per frame. So that should alleviate a lot of the hitching that we're seeing.
Having our own tech, like that's what allows us to really iterate fast and to really push the visuals and the level of fidelity.
As the clock winds down with key issues solved, it looks as though the team will indeed meet their deadline.
There you go. Done. See, it's all fixed. That's why he's the White Wizard.
A brief moment for congratulations on a job well done is all they'll have time for.
Now it's the next mountain we need to climb.
You know, we'll always want to do something better. We'll always want to keep improving.
Until they drag this thing out of our kind of clutches, it's going to be challenges every day.
In the next episode, as the team readies the latest build of the game for E3, we take a closer look at one of the game's core mechanics, the Nemesis system, and find out exactly how it was built. To make a truly high-end video game, you need an outstanding engine, art and animation assets, and perhaps most importantly, a core design system that redefines the gaming experience in a way that both excites and challenges players. For the team at Monolith, this reality led them to develop something they call the Nemesis system.
We wanted to create something that was genuinely new within action-adventure games.
Something that reflected your actions back to you, but not in a scripted way, in a way that gives you the freedom to play the game however you want to.
The best area we can put all of our focus is to make enemies more interesting.
Why don't we make those like the open world environment where you can do anything? Why don't we make it where they can be anything?
Your enemies will be able to have this personal bond and relationship with you, and then they'll be able to reflect that back to you with their actions, how they get promoted, the things that they're wearing, all the different things that they say.
These aren't just, you know, your classic story beat guys. Any no-name grunt orc can take you out.
Time for me to rise above my so-called brothers.
They want to become famous off of your mistakes, so they're looking to come after you, and just as much as you're looking to come after them.
So you have the ability to interrogate orcs and dive into their minds.
You learn what their different strengths and weaknesses are, like stealth, fires, the environment, how can you use the different things around you.
There's also his relationships to the other characters in the world and guys who are supporting him who you could pick off one at a time to make that fight easier, or who you could turn against him to actually help you.
I've seen tougher groups of ghouls than your sorry lot.
You're not navigating your way through a set of stories or encounters or missions that someone else has created. You're actually creating those yourself through gameplay, through existing in this world, through interacting with these characters.
But creating unique enemies in a dynamic living world requires careful design and implementation of multiple elements within the game.
The biggest challenge with building this system is that there are so many of those pieces, and each of those pieces interact with each other.
You've got the character artists who are making all of the different faces and all the different costume pieces and all the weapons. You've got designers who are giving them all kinds of different abilities. You've got the writers who are coming up with the personalities and the kinds of things that they can say.
Every time you show up, I'll choose you.
There's all the animation, not just their bodies, but their face.
And it's not easy because there's so many millions of combinations that things can go haywire. And since it is a dynamic system, there's also a lot of unpredictability that comes with that as well.
With the convention season about to kick off, the team is pushing to get the latest build of the game ready in time for E3, one of the biggest video game expos on the planet.
One of the challenges of showing the Nemesis system and putting it hands-on at E3 is you can't just do 15 minutes of gameplay. We have to cover every single possibility.
We've got to make sure it's as seamless as we possibly can so that their experiences, whatever corner of the world they happen to wander into during their time, come off without a hitch.
It literally is a cross-section of the game where we're just dropping the player in, and there it is. It's the sandbox. It is the game. It is the Nemesis system.
It's been a busy few weeks, but the E3 build is finally in the can. With the game ready for its close-up, the team prepares for the chance to show off their hard work.
Obviously, you work on something like this for so long, and the whole purpose of it, the whole reason you're doing it, is to get it in players' hands and to see how people respond to it.
We're hoping that when we get out there, people take a moment and check out this IP they've never seen before, and by doing that, they'll see something truly new and innovative.
It's going to be the first time we set anybody loose in the open sandbox, and we can't tell them what to do, and we're going to see what happens.
On the next episode, we go inside the Electronic Entertainment Expo in California and follow the team as they meet the press, conduct interviews, and immerse themselves in a spectacle that is unlike any other. The Electronic Entertainment Expo in Los Angeles, California, one of the largest video game trade shows in the world, attracting the biggest names in game development and showcasing some of the largest entertainment franchises in the world. It's a chance to connect one-on-one with fans of the game and see for the first time how the public reacts to the Nemesis system.
So different to hear us talking about it versus seeing people actually get their hands on it, actually play it.
You don't know what people are going to think until they experience it. The past couple of days have been just crazy chaos, getting everything set up and going and making sure all the build works on all the TVs, and then preparing to just talk nonstop all day, every day about our game.
At the convention center, the big show is in full swing. The onslaught of wall-to-wall video screens, the constant boom of soundtracks, E3 is a full-on assault of the senses.
We're really excited to have the opportunity to show you guys Shadow of Mordor today.
We have a really dynamic theater presentation. We have hands-on for some VIPs that are really exciting, so they get to play as long as they want. Plus, we're sending Michael LaPlatter, our director of design, all over the place, doing interviews, being on TV, all these things.
I've never had this type of setup. Like, this is we're playing with the big boys here.
The opportunity to connect with fans face-to-face, answer questions, and get feedback is one of the best things about attending a show like this.
The fans are really use E3 as a barometer of what they want to purchase next and what games they're interested in and what they want to look at.
Getting the fans to touch the game, to actually experience what we've been making is the key.
It's awe-inspiring seeing their eyes light up as they start to understand the Nemesis system and all the innovations that we're providing.
I had some people come up to me afterwards and just tell me that this was the most amazing game they'd ever seen, and they came and actually shook my hand afterwards. Every time I come out, it seems like we win something else. I don't know, I just wasn't expecting it. It was just great.
With excitement for Shadow of Mordor increasing, the press are eager to see the game too and hear what the team has to say.
Those interviews are great for a couple of reasons. One, we get to talk about the game at more length. Secondly, we get to show people more of the game, and in particular for us, the fact that every single time we play the game, it's going to be different.
So we've had multiple news outlets who've had somebody come and play, and they've gone and told their friends, you got to go play this, or they themselves have come back to play, and that's happened a lot. That's a massive validation. That's incredible.
When they go in there thinking they're going to spend 15 minutes and they come out an hour and a half later, that's just the most satisfying thing.
As the show winds down, it's been a blur of promotion, interaction, and feedback from both fans and press alike.
Having them say, out of everything at E3, we think you have one of the best games, it's humbling.
It's just been amazing, really gratifying.
You're always worried, because it's something you put so much blood and sweat into. But to get this type of response, and the buzz that it generates, it's huge. It's huge for us, and it feels really, really good.
Now it's time to pack up and get back to the real work of delivering a finished game.
And we're all going to come back from this show really high in life. We're going to tell the team how excited they should be. Then we're going to say, guess what? It's end game time.
Bug fixing, performance, optimization, closing down, and shipping.
We have to really dedicate a good chunk of the next 4 to 6 weeks of our life to making sure that the game that's delivered to the fans are what we promised here at E3.
In the next episode, we join the team in studio once more as they batten down the hatches and ready the game for submission. In video game development, the closer you get to final submission, the more pressure you are under to deliver. But as the team at Monolith sets to work, they can't stop buzzing about the press reviews at E3.
I don't think anything could have prepared us for how overwhelmingly great it went. I think the final tally by the time E3 closed was like 40 awards and nominations.
Everybody was just gathered around watching Michael DePlatter getting an interview with a big media outlet.
It is a nice little kind of shot in the arm for the team just as we are doing that final push and getting it over the line.
With the final submission fast approaching, the team must continue to identify the outstanding needs of the game and resolve them without allowing the pressure to become a distraction. This moment marks a critical phase of production.
Right now, we're full bore with QA testing. We're making sure that they're pounding on the build every minute of every day, 7 days a week, to ensure that we're not finding any progression blockers.
Every day, they're just playing through it, and they're playing through it in the craziest and wildest ways you possibly can, and then logging everything.
Since our game is such a sandbox game, there's so much you can do. You have so many choices. It's a hard game to test.
We end up with a lot of bugs that we call once-only bugs. So it's like one time a tester has seen this issue and it's bad. So it takes a fair amount of time for us to repro them consistently. It definitely makes fixing bugs harder.
We're doing final post on our cinematics. We're doing final lighting polish on our levels, on the materials for the characters, little things in the UI to make sure that we have everything available that we need to have for the consumer.
I mean, this is where you want to make sure that you catch everything. This is your last chance. You want the gamers to have a great experience out of the box.
Working on one of the biggest franchises in entertainment history, it's no surprise that people are eager to see the gameplay and how the story and characters are being brought to life as the team builds upon the lore.
It's more than just a franchise, it's more than just an IP, it's more than just a movie, it's more than a book. It genuinely is part of our cultural myth.
Every single person here in some big way is really just a massive fan of Tolkien's work, and to get to dive in deep to something that we care about this much and bring that passion with us every single day into the studio has just been incredible.
We wanted to present a new visual take on the lore while ensuring that it was authentic. And I think that a lot of the locations that we're presenting in the game are locations that people are familiar with, but they haven't seen quite in the time period that our game takes place in. The world is a little bit wilder. It's almost like the frontier, A lot of the gameplay mechanics that we have, they are rooted in the lore, but the combination of the Wraith and Talion, very unique gameplay experience.
We really want to surprise people in a positive way, that when they do get to play it or they do actually see it, that it's at least as good, if not better, than what they'd sort of been hoping for.
It's been a long journey to this point, and the team is proud of what they've accomplished. Nervous and hopeful, they're excited to see what the future holds.
The fact that it has been this sort of 3-year journey genuinely has felt pretty fast, but it's hugely exciting to reach the end of that and actually look forward to shipping the game and sort of, handing over that baton to the players and the fans to see what they think of it.
I'm just excited, to get it in the hands of folks. I'm excited to do all the extra stuff we'll hopefully be doing for the game, and I'm excited to see what comes next.
On the next episode, we follow the team as they attend Comic-Con and the PAX conference in Seattle, Washington, where they will get a chance to engage their fans and see how they'll react to playing the game. There's a point in any creative process when, having spent years pouring your energy and passion into a project, you must step back and allow others to experience what you have created. For the developers at Monolith, that time is now. With only weeks until the official launch of Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, the team is attending conferences and exhibitions across the country.
We really have to reach out to as many people as we possibly can, getting the word out, letting people know about the game, letting them discover it.
This is our opportunity to really get out in front of everybody and show them all of our hard work, and to get their responses and to get their feedback directly to us from what they've seen.
At Comic-Con in San Diego, the press and fans are able to discuss the game with the developers and Troy Baker, who plays Talion.
I was really excited when we did our panel to see the anticipation and the excitement that people had to sit and just hear about the game.
Comic-Con was really about the legitimacy and the authenticity of our story within the canon of Middle-earth. Comic-Con makes you feel and realize that this game is part of this larger sort of tapestry of pop culture, and to be a part of that and to be there alongside these amazing movies and comics and TV shows, and just being a part of that is just super inspiring.
But it's the Penny Arcade Expo in Seattle which is special to the team. The largest event in North America focused entirely on gaming takes place in Monolith's hometown, meaning the entire team, their friends and their family, can attend and see firsthand fans' reaction to their hard work.
Here at PAX, it's people that are in your community specifically getting to have that direct interaction with you and the dev team, and it's kind of great to have that.
It's very much about embracing the gamer, letting them see the games that they love.
These are just tens of thousands of like-minded people who are into the same stuff, hanging out together, having a good time.
At the Warner Brothers booth, the atmosphere is charged with excitement as the team interacts with fans and immerses them in all things Middle-earth.
You'll get a chance to meet a couple of these really amazing orcs. They'll take their picture with you, they'll bite on your arm, chew on your hair, whatever you want them to do. In addition to that, we also have somebody here that will be branding people. And then after that, you'll be able to come in here, you get your hands on the game, you get a chance to play it for the first time and see what it's really all about.
One after the other, players step up and take on the role of Talion for the first time.
So fans are getting to run around in the open world, they're getting to hunt down orc war chiefs. Every single person that plays is going to get a unique experience compared to everyone else.
The purity of it is, having these people just be gamers with no agenda, They just want to know if it's fun or not.
Soon, fan reaction begins to filter back to the team. It turns out the game is meeting, even surpassing expectations.
I really like the fact that you can possess as many enemies as you want.
And the thought of having a ridiculous army is really kind of exciting. Being able to go in and see their strengths and their weaknesses and just who's above them and how you can kind of go through the ranks.
You make your move, but everybody else is making their moves at the same time.
It was utter bedlam, and it was awesome.
To really just see so many fans playing it, to walk away with smiles, to kind of have their own stories, is just incredible. That's the most important thing.
Every time somebody makes an exclamation of happiness or joy or goes, oh my gosh, that was so cool, you can only hope and dream that people will react like that.
Buoyed by the positive response, the team can breathe a momentary sigh of relief as they head back and ready the game in time for its debut on September 30th.
You can't wait for someone to get their hands on that controller and sit down and put that disc in and play it, because that's all your hard work. That's your baby that you've sweat and cried over and bled over. So yeah, I can't wait for that day.
We've done everything we can, and now it's just the anticipation of how that's really going to be received by the public at large once the game is released.
I don't know that it's really sunk in that the journey is almost over. I'm still in this nervous, anxious state waiting for it to launch. I think we've got to get it out there and see how people react before I'll finally be able to take a real deep breath.
On the final episode, with the game set to ship, we talk with key members of the team as they reflect back on their long journey from creation to completion.